Travel Around Kazakhstan is an educational program on domestic tourism produced within the framework of Ruhani Jangiru project. Every episode, our camera crew travels along popular routes marked on a touristification map of the Republic. This particular Kazakhstani area attracts both cultural, historical tourism enthusiasts and pilgrims all over the world. They have a variety of reasons for it. First of all, tombs of Khawaja Ahmad Yasawi, Arslan Baba, and other Muslim preachers are here. Secondly, this territory is rich in ancient structures calling with their mystery. If you thought that we are in the South Kazakhstan region, you were wrong. Now it is called Turkestan province. Hi, my name is Aynash Sandikova, and you are watching the Travel Around Kazakhstan program.
Начнем?
Before our film crew carried out the Hajj to holy places of Turkestani area, they visited Otra, an old hill fort. Such routes seem the most helpful in time and right according to Kazakh traditions. Ruins of one of the largest medieval cities of Central Asia, located near Talapti village, 57 kilometers south of Turkestan. If you want to get to Otra from Shymkent, you have to drive 120 kilometers in the northwest. For those who would love to research this historical monument with an experienced guide, you should ride on special buses. For the medieval perspective, Otra was megapolis where commerce, science, and medicine flourished. Today, we can see only rubble remain from this city. Even they draw the attention of explorers from all over the world who wish to figure out the secrets of Otra city. Otra, or Farab as Arabic sources call it, was founded in the 8th century on one of the sections of the Great Silk Road, in the downstream of Iris River. By the 12th century, the settlement from provincial city turned to shop and cultural center. The population of Otra already amounted to 200,000 people. Besides scientists, medics and merchants, musicians and jewelry makers settled there too. It is not surprising because the polis had all conditions for a normal life, according to medieval times. Bazaar, hospital, madrasa, bathhouse, shops, and even gurkhana, the place where people drank wine, were established here. Karakani dynasty mint was in the area, as historians said. I do not know how an entire process looked in olden times, since I imagine the sound of coinage. Otra used to be the leader of minting in this time. A lot of Chinese and Scottian banknotes, as well as Turkic bronze and copper coins, were discovered here. Mainly, they were on the Otra market. By the way, during archaeological digs, people found numerous fake monies. The point is, in the 9th century, silver crisis seized Kazakhstan. Because of that, copper dirhams created by the state mint were covered with a layer of silver and presented as pure silver pieces. This is what is left of one of the outrosanas. It vaguely mirrors bathhouse on the outside. Yet, let's believe our experts. Otra steam bath built like a cross. The massage room was in the middle, with chambers for washing and resting placed around. Under the floor of the facility, people found heat distribution channels, in which warmth flew into spaces for steaming and bathing. Washdown procedures were a significant part of residents' lives. Quoting prominent Orientalists or Beli, beyond fulfilling their functional designation, showers gave strength, rid from heavy thoughts and exhaustion. Academic also mentioned that sauna was a subject of special care of city governor about inhabitants.
Каирхан,
Бұл арбал.
это игра.
Алдағылар тұтқын сарбаздар.
Впереди гонят пленных сарбазов.
Шын әскерлер жер асты жолымен келеді.
Настоящие воины пойдут через подкоп.
However, the serene happiness of Atra did not last for long. In 1219, after the brutal execution of Genghis Khan, ambassadors, the city was under siege led by sons of Mongolian emperor. Be quiet. They will come closer now and we are going to fire. Fire! Probably, this is how courageous people of Atra city defended it. The castle wall I have been hiding behind received considerably hostile attacks. After 6 months of blockade, which caused famine and general urban decline, one of the citizens secretly opened the gates to the enemy soldier under cover of night. So, once thriving Atra was set on fire, and most of its residents disappeared with it. The ancient settlement of Atra is both the tourist attraction and a cinema set. In 1991, they shot the Fall of Atra feature film. Here we go. Ready? Action! For the next 8 centuries, Atra Center still existed on the map of Kazakhstan after destruction. Locals did not leave it until a significant drought occurred in the 19th century. The deserted Atra started slowly but steadily wither, till archaeological excavations started here in 1969. The UNESCO carried out antique monuments conservation in 2001 to 2004. Later, people launched the Rival of Ancient Atra State program, still in effect. The excursion of the Atra settlement finished. Now we can go on a Hajj. We started it in Turkestan region, from a mausoleum of a religious mystic and preacher, Aristan Baba. Ancient landmark is in 150 kilometers from Shymkent. It is nearby Atra settlement and Shelder village in Atra district. Since 1982, Aristan Baba tomb is under the national protection. This is also a place of Muslim pilgrimage from around the world. Khawaja Akhmet Yasawi remembers his spiritual advisor, Aristan Baba, many times in his famous work of Divani Hikmet. According to legend, he gave his beloved discipline a subject of power, amanat, which was in persimmon stone. That is why pilgrims consider visiting the grave of Aristan Baba a great blessing, on the way to mausoleum of Khawaja Akhmet Yasawi. According to myth, the Turk-Mongol conqueror Tamerlan was setting up the mausoleum on the grave of Wasawi in 14th to 15th centuries. But strange circumstances prevented him from doing it. One version suggests when builders proceeded to lay bricks, a storm started out of sudden. It swept away everything that was in its path. Another version says that a green bull destroyed walls of the crypt, thus interfering with construction. Then Khawaja Akhmet Yasawi himself appeared to Timur in his dream. The saint asked to pay tribute to his teacher first and put up a memorial over Aristan's Bab's resting place. Only after that, Timur could construct Khawaja's shrine. It is interesting that modern portal of the mosque is made not in the typical Central Asian style. You can see borrowings from the 19th century European and Russian architecture. The main entrance to Arslan Bab's mausoleum is a rectangle with pointed arch named Iwan. However, the Iwan in this sanctuary has a right-shaped frame. Two minarets laid out with decorative bricks complemented a long facade. The extent of Arslan Bab's memorial is 420 square meters. This territory has a few rooms. One of them has chapel and graves of discipline of Arslan Baba. The crypt of the holy man himself is in another chamber. Arslan Bab's final resting place is made up of two-chamber shrine, Gurkhana and Memorial Mosque. They interconnect with a high vaulted corridor. Two high conical domes overlap structures above burials of Arslan Baba and his disciples, Kermek Azir, Karga Bab, and Lashun Bab. In other premises of mausoleum, you can find true relics. Among them is Quran, calligraphy of which presented in a unique medieval style. As well, time-worn wood columns left from the first reconstructing of the place. These pillars are 700 years old. They are considered an important architectural element of the sanctuary. Could you imagine what historical events they witnessed? It is obligatory to visit the prayer room or memorial mosque in Arslan Bab's mausoleum. Here, parishioners perform Mohammedan prayer or simply pray to spirits of dearly departed among the well-being of families and friends. Many pilgrims specially ask for better health. Such cozy dome arbors are near the burial chamber of Arslan Baba. After visiting the sacred place, you can rest and gain strength in here before the road. To go to Arslan Baba's shrine from Turkestan on the car, you will need only an hour. Taxi fare depends on the season and starts from 500 tenge. After, we paid tribute to the teacher of Ahmet Yasawi. Our shooting crew went to his tomb, too. First-rate example of the medieval manor located at the center of Turkestan. It is a major object of Khazret Sultan Sanctuary Museum. The shrine of Khoja Ahmet Yasawi is safeguarded by the state of the UNESCO organization. People believe that if you went to his resting place 3 times, you can presume that you made the Hajj to Mecca. Now, in my spiritual bank, I have 1 tour. I hope I will reach other holy places as well. The genius architectural creation reached our days in its original form. The brick cupola measured one of the biggest in the Central Asia. The mausoleum size is more than 3,000 square meters. This great rectangular structure has arch portal 37.5 meters high. The height of its principal roof reaches 44 meters. The magnitude of walls of the tomb surprise us too. Their thickness varies from 2 to 3 meters. The facility consists of more than 35 quarters, established around the central hall, Kazandık. It has the main relic of Khoja Ahmet Yasawi Mausoleum. Once upon a time, the holy water was in this cauldron. People treated pilgrims who came to a Friday prayer with it. This reservoir believed to be the largest water bowl in the world of the Islamic East. In stories, blacksmiths casted taikazan out of 7 metal alloy in the Karnak village, 25 kilometers away from Turkestan city. Its volume is 3,000 liters and it weighs 2 tons. However, the ritual cauldron did not always remain in the museum. It was taken to Leningrad in 1934 to present at the Hermitage exhibition. 53 years later, in 1988, they returned taikazan to the mausoleum. That cannot be said about other exhibits which stayed overseas. The lights are so heavy that only few people can budge them. But this did not stop thieves who stole one of the bronze lamps in 1906. Who would have thought that 2 years later this memorial light fixture would be the property of Parisian Louvre, which it is kept till today. However, not only Louvre keeps Turkestani candlelight in its collection. In 1934, the St. Petersburg Hermitage took 2 other bronze candlesticks with taikazan. In exchange for that, the Imperial Archaeological Commission proposed to sheikhs, who administered the tomb, to repair the dilapidated building. Negotiations went unsuccessfully for 20 years, after which lamps still ended up in the Foreign Museum.
Сейчас я нахожусь в Большом дворце-мавзолее.
Now I am in the huge palace of the Sanctum. In 16th to 18th century, military tasks, diplomatic receptions, and other meetings took place here. Kazakh Khans sat on this very spot and decided the destiny of the great Kazakh land. The temple has big and small aksaray. For 600 years, people buried the most prominent public figures of Kazakhstan in here. The oldest grave site is 587 years old, and the latest tomb dates back to 1917. Overall, the smallest stronghold has 43 headstones. Guests can see one of them at the entrance to the larger fort. The tomb belongs to Kazakh ruler Ablai Khan, who died in 1781. The library of the mausoleum looks like this. It is very interesting for me as a journalist because medieval manuscripts and folios were kept right here. In addition to the storage of an invaluable collection of ancient literature, people kept records of copied books in the library of the Koja Akhmet Yasawi Shrine. But during archaeological digs, scientists have not found a single copy of documents written by the Sufi leader himself. Probably they took part or burned books during numerous wars, in which Kazakhs participated. Rumor has it, when Bolsheviks came to Turkestan, local residents entered the archive in secret and carried the most precious files out. To keep them for future generations, they buried olden folios in underground tunnels. People say that one of them still has Hikmet written by the hand of Khawaja Akhmet Yasawi himself. The sun sets, steppe covers with darkness, which means our trip to saint places of the region finished. Today, we have seen once again that admirers of historical, cultural, and religious touring do not have to travel over oceans and seas. To refresh your spirit and clean your heart, you need to travel to Turkestani region. This was Aynash Sangundikova and Travel Around Kazakhstan show. See you later!